All right. I'm up bright and early. It's not that bright outside, but it's early at least. And in Germany, we have a saying that says, or that states, only the early bird catches the worm. Kind of a stupid saying, I would say, and my American friends are thinking, oh, these crazy Germans again. But there's a good reason for it, because today, unfortunately, I have to drop off this baby. But before I'll do that, I'll actually have to get back into Hamburg. And I've decided to just, kind of brabble along during the way. Kind of been famous for my really long videos, and this is bound to be another one, I guess. But yes, so I'll talk about everything that makes this car so unique, why this is the fastest Model X they have, but not actually the longest range, even though it has the longest range battery. I still feel like, even though Tesla is really doing a great job at trying to keep it simple, with their battery options, it's just, they're trying to ditch the labeling, or they're already ditching the labeling with the battery sizes on their Model 3. At least that's what they're planning. And yeah, some people are still a little bit confused, and there's the Model S or X. Well, that's still, something kind of easy to explain, but then a lot of people are kind of getting confused by the different options there are, and I'll go into more detail about that. But I've decided to actually wait a little longer until I start my explanation, get on the road, get on the German Autobahn, and I'll stop by a supercharger, even though I really don't have to. It's not that far away. My destination may be 270 kilometers or something, so really not that far away with the 100 kilowatt hour battery, even though it's a performance model. But yeah, so I'll stop the video right now, and I'll hook it up again a little later. Alright guys, it's starting to get light out here. It's basically dawning, and I'm not quite on the Autobahn yet, but you know what? Screw it. Because actually country road driving with this car is the greatest fun I think ever had in a car. And yeah, that statement is definitely true. So because it's a super sports car. I mean, this thing pulls what, like sub 3 seconds 0 to 60 times, or for us in Germany, unter 3 Sekunden 0 auf 100. So yeah, I mean, these times are insane, and we've been driving this big ass car that's basically a family crossover SUV. That weighs far beyond 2 tons, if I'm not completely wrong, and I don't think I am. So, I mean, this car is just, it's earth-shattering. It will destroy pretty much everything that's out on the road, except for maybe the Tesla Model S P100D in a 0 to 60. And even, I've just been watching some recent Top Gear. Must say I'm a big fan of the old Top Gear. It's a bummer they, the Grand Tour was on, so that's fine. But yeah, so the new Top Gear team, I usually don't really watch them, but a colleague of mine just sent me a video of them reviewing the Tesla Model S P100D, drag racing it against Porsche 911 something. I'm not quite sure. You have to look it up, but it's out there on their website. I think it's a web special. Anyway, because country roads, have a lot of stop and go, you can actually take advantage of that insane acceleration within the first, 100 miles an hour range, or I guess 100 mile an hour range, or in Germany, like up to 150 kilometers, really, where it's pulling the strongest. Obviously, country roads in Germany, 100 kilometers an hour speed limit, about 60 miles an hour. So it's kind of perfect for those 0 to 60 times that you're pulling. Now we have some traffic up ahead. It kind of sucks a little bit, but yeah, I'll still, well, you'll see the insane acceleration. And I'll show you which mode I put it in, because the, where you see the kind of the crazy, stars come up. All right, let's watch this. Oh my! It's just, oh my god, this is just, it's awesome. I mean, it puts a smile on your face. You cannot put it otherwise. And so it's currently, there's only sport mode and insane mode. It's an insane mode, but then there's the Easter egg. And what the Easter egg does, it I think puts it another 0.0 or so seconds faster. 0.01, no, 0.1 seconds. Not perfectly sure. Would have to look it up. But I mean, like sub 3. I feel like we're pulling hairs here. We're splitting hairs here. Anyway, that was my water bottle. Ah, crap. Let me grab that. Whatever. So, because the battery is mounted on the floor, we don't only have insane acceleration, which I put it on insane mode, but we also have a really good, road feel. I put the steering in sport mode too. It puts it at a nice and firmer grip. You have better control. Is the steering as good as like I don't know, I want to say maybe like Porsche or something? Oh, not necessarily. All right, let's watch this again. All right, I have to look out here to not get a speeding ticket. All right. Anyway, so we'll take this guy. What I was gonna say is that the feeling on the road, especially in windy roads, is actually really good. I mean, you're driving crossover SUV. It has 7 seats, but it's insane. It's amazing. And then also, what I was just saying before, that this Easter egg that you can turn on, that puts the light speed thing on the screen. I'll put it on later for you guys. That thing actually requires some battery heating, usually. And last night, we parked the car to charge it up at the company that we were, we had some meetings about renewable energy usage for efficient heating and cooling systems, whatever. And we just drove back to the hotel, and that was a really short trip, so the battery wasn't even getting any heat over that, I don't know, like 5-minute trip. So in order for the Easter egg to work, it will heat up the battery, and last night it was going to heat it up for, I don't know, a 2-hour period or so. Sorry, a 25-minute period, and we were having, we're letting some other people have a go at the Tesla and test driving it. But we didn't have enough time, unfortunately, to put it in that super insane mode, the Easter egg mode yet. But I'll definitely pull it up later for you guys so you can see it. I definitely want to try it too. So when we're at the supercharger, I hope I can turn it on while I'm at the supercharger, because the supercharger will, it will obviously help heat up the battery faster when you charge it. That's why the fans spool up when you charge, and that should put some heat in the battery and allow us for some quicker, legit fun of that, even split second faster, which I'm looking forward to. But yeah, I hope it's light enough now that you can see me. I might actually turn it off right now, and then when I'm on the Autobahn in, I don't know, about, I guess it's another 10 minutes, or yeah, maybe 10 or 20 minutes, I'll put it back on, and I'll talk more about the car itself. Again, the feel it I don't know, just to feel how to drive it. But the one thing that I'm going to just throw out there now is that you can't really describe it. I mean, I'm a huge fan, obviously, of Tesla and in general electric cars. Just test drove the Chevy Bolt. It is in Germany. It's the Opel Ampera E, and obviously some other cars too. Tesla 90D recently. So I mean, these are all great cars, and you can watch videos about them, and I guess you'll get the general feel of it, and you'll say, all right, this is really quick. But this car, it's something different. I mean, same goes for the Tesla P100D, but you really cannot describe it. It is just so obliterating fast. I mean, it just, when I put the pedal to the metal, when I stepped on it first time, I just took a short drive with my dad the other night, and I put it, I just, hit it, and it hit me. I was so unprepared for it. So when we took people out, we're always like, all right, hold on to your things, and it's the best advice we can give them, because, wow, yeah, it's insane. All right, I'll put in autopilot real quick to just turn off the video feed, and I'll be back shortly. All right. Well, it turns out I've mounted the camera good when I woke up this morning, because it was still dark. I could barely see, but yeah, it worked. Since it's bright and light outside now, I took a look at my phone and it's lined up perfectly, I feel like. Anyway, so I'm on the Autobahn now, and just let me, woohoo! Wow. See, even at like 120 kilometers an hour, if you put your foot down, it will still go, which is amazing, because of all the back EMF, kind of back electromagnetic force that electric cars in general have to deal with. And honestly, I kind of always, I guess, knew that how generators work and how electric motors work. But if you're interested in that, why, you know, electric motors are so super like quick off the line, but kind of die off towards the end, opposite of what gasoline engines usually are, check out Engineering Explained. It's a great channel. I love this guy, and he has a great video explaining, well, exactly the kind of issue of back electromagnetic force with electric cars. Anyway, we wanted to talk about this amazing piece of automotive engineering, and it's just, well, astonishing. First of all, let me start by saying it feels comfortably familiar, right? I mean, and that's what I love about all Teslas I've sat in so far. Well, Model S and Model X, obviously. I didn't have a chance to test out the Model 3 yet. I wish, but so, you know, we have the big center screen, we have the secondary screen. Model 3, we only have one of these. We kind of know that, but so yes, it's all familiar. It's the same buttons, or lack of buttons, which I love, the minimalistic approach. But since we last talked, there's been a lot of changes that a lot of Teslas have undergone. Basically, Model S and Model X both made some, you know, improvements, and I want to say those improvements are amazing. Since I've been mostly driving the Tesla Model S 70D, well, you know, I've kind of been subjected to that atmosphere a lot, and I love that car. But this one, and actually the 90D that I've been recently in, it's just, I feel like the improvements they made are amazing. Let's start with some. Well, the center console has been redone, and that's already been done like quite a while ago, but, you know, as I said, just to make sure I pointed out, it has, you know, kind of more storage. It has a phone holder. You can plug in your iPhone if you want to. I generally really like it. It makes it better. Now, the Model X also has some side pockets in your doors. I really like that. I like to store stuff, which is good. And, you know, having some storage in the doors for like a water bottle. It won't fit like a huge water bottle like this, but it'll fit a smaller one. I mean, this is a 1.5 liter one. Don't ask me what's that in gallons. I have no clue. But it's 1.5 metric liters. Let me just move over for the other guys. So I'm obviously on Autopilot. I'll talk about Autopilot and the new Tesla vision system, which is obviously in here because every new Tesla comes with it. And this one, when we started driving it 2 days ago, it had less than 1,000 kilometers on it, so it's really like fresh off the line. I actually found one of the little piece of plastic wrapping that they put around the lights and stuff to wrap them to not get any scratches. So it was still a little piece on there. It gave me a nice feel to like tear it off. Oh wow. Anyway, what else? So that's obviously one improvement that's been also made for the Tesla Model S. The seats. Oh my gosh, they're just so much better. I mean, the old ones were terrible. By all means, they're good. But this is just way better. Let me just move back over here. Alright, perfect. These are just so much better. Now, the new Tesla Model S also has way better seats. And I don't know, I like it. I like them way better. The headrest is adjustable now. The old ones were just, you know, just plainly mounted on there. Now, if I press a little button here, just any basically movement button on my seat will give me the option to switch to the headrest. Let's put this back. Alright, so these are some, you know, minor, or I feel like some major improvements. I really like it. It, you know, gives you the, I don't know, it makes the ride definitely more comfortable. Also in the Tesla Model S. Now, obviously, they reduced their battery options. Now you get only 75 or 100. The 100 kilowatt hour you can get it as a performance model or as a just dual motor engine. The 75, I'm pretty sure they still have the rear wheel drive or the dual option. So it's basically like kind of 4 main options you can choose from. So they reduced that. Their website design is different. If you want to check that out, take a look at it. It's clean. I like it. It's a good website, and you can play around with the configurator. I always do that when I have spare time. I don't know. I like it, and it will, you know, kind of you'll get a sense of what the new options are. The Tesla Model S, the 90D I've been in, had the full glass roof, so no more. Well, it's if you want to, it can still have a sliding, like a, what is it called? Like a sunroof. Thank you, sunroof. But this one had the full glass option, which is nice. It gives you an airy feel. I do like the sunroof too, though. I've never been much of a sunroof guy, but I don't know, I just liked it. Yeah, and those are some of the biggies. What else is there? Something that's been, I don't know, making the ride way more enjoyable for me is the air suspension. They've had this for a while. The 70D didn't have it. The 90D, the Model S, and also this one, the Model X comes standard with it. And the 90D also had it optionally equipped. So that makes the ride just so much better. And also, I've been trying to fit the 70D in my garage in Berlin. Well, okay, it made it, but it was a big hassle because my garage is, I don't know, it was, you know, in Germany everything is tiny, so it was designed, it's not too old, I was saying 1990 something, and I don't know, it's really steep, and if you can raise your car with the air suspension, you can. It gets really, really, really close to flat bottoming out, like it basically, you know, it would sit on top of the crest, and that's not good. You don't want to, like, even kind of, I don't know, scratch your car or something, or do something else with it that potentially harms it. Anyway, so the air suspension makes it a way better ride. And yeah, those are some of the major things. They did put up a bunch of, let me just accelerate up to show this guy that we can be fast. Alright, 200 kilometers an hour. Well, that was quick, even though we're already at like 140, I guess. I put my cruise control on. Yeah, so some software improvements. For example, now they will show you how many stalls are occupied at a supercharger. Just, you know, some of the stuff, a little bit of layout. I like it better. I think it's good. Some people, yeah, have been finding some smaller flaws with it, but I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I still love it and use it frequently, obviously, when you're in this car. Other than that, it's basically still the same. I mean, steering wheel, pedals, screen, mirrors, everything you need. So that's true for both cars, the Model S and the Model X. Now let's talk about Autopilot, because that's also, the changes are also, they're major, but they're also true for both cars. And one of the last videos I uploaded, basically a year ago, I guess, I've been talking about the Tesla Vision system, and that's now become reality. So let's talk about it, and after that we'll go into more details about this amazing car, the details about this specific Tesla Model X P100D that I'm in, with this amazing huge windshield, which doesn't only give me nice headroom, as you can see. Maybe, yeah, can you see? Yeah, I guess you can see. And I'm quite tall, as I mentioned, but also the view. All right, and the sun is coming out. It's beautiful. All right, Anyway, Tesla Vision. Now this system is designed to be at some point fully autonomous, even though the like full autonomy will maybe require another update of the basically compute engine, the CPU, the whole computer basically behind there. It's more, I think, GPU because of the acceleration you'll get from GPUs when analyzing image data, but we might talk about this in a little while. So Tesla Vision, basic setup, 8 cameras, 3 here, mid-range, short-range, wide-angle I feel like, or it's long-range, short-range, mid-range with, you know, different angles. 4 on the sides, so in each B pillar there's one facing outwards to the left and right. So if you're making, once you will be making turns later, this will be able to detect oncoming cars and, you know, cars on the side that are, you know, on the side. And then there are 2 more. I showed you them on the outside. They're in the blinkers that are underneath the mirrors, and they're faced backwards, and they're kind of shielded by the actual blinker, which is nice because so they don't get dirty, or at least not as quickly. So they face backwards to the left and to the right. And on Tesla's website and on the web, you can find a bunch of videos that will actually give you some image feeds or some video feeds from the camera, so you can see kind of what part of the surround view they'll be covering. And obviously there's the rear view camera, that this one right here, you know, that points outward. This guy, all right, good. Yeah, all right, I'll just stay in this lane. I don't really care. I want to talk about the system more. So this system is way more advanced than the old system. It still uses a radar sensor up front. I feel like it has improved. I'm not quite sure if they put a new sensor in there. I feel like it has longer range, and it gives or it allows for smoother stopping if a car is like completely stopped or something. I don't know. It might just be my impression, but I feel like it's a little better. The side sensors, sonars, are definitely better. They increase the range. And those things are important for not only, they're 12, 6 front, 6 back, and kind of to the sides, right? Those are important for making your autonomous parking, but also to kind of detect anything that's to the left or to the right. And speaking about those sensors, you might have seen some videos about, you know, guys being like, there's a car right here, like a truck, and being next to a truck, and the truck kind of just slowly moves over without, you know, without seeing you, because you are here, so they can't move over. Yeah, and it happened to me. It happened to me while I was on Autopilot. This truck came over like this. It was swerving into it, but I was already beside it, and Autopilot picked up, and there was no car beside me, and I'm 99% sure they also checked that, and it made a swerve. Because otherwise, I'm pretty sure this guy would have hit me, at least the mirror. I did have my hands on the wheel, just, you know, right when Autopilot was taking over the turn. I was also trying to turn, so I didn't really have to do anything because Autopilot was already turning the wheel. But just for the one of you wondering or worrying that, you know, yes, I've been responsible with the system. It's not perfect yet, I know that, but yeah, keeping your hands on the wheel. What does the system do differently? Not much. It's basically still the same functionality right now. As I said, it will be, if you purchase the option, which you can already purchase, but which doesn't do anything right now, be able to fully self-drive itself. Hopefully really soon. There's a video out there of a Tesla Model X with a white interior, doing an autonomous drive in, I want to say it's California, to the Tesla headquarters, so in Silicon Valley. Take a look at it. I feel like it's amazing, and it's so cool. I want to be able to sleep in my car. That's my vision. Like, I want to be able to go to sleep at night in my car and wake up like southern Germany the next day, so I don't waste any private time traveling, or, you know, any like time during the day where I want to do stuff traveling. I want to just, yeah, I don't know, do it. I don't want to fly with a plane. I think that's, or it is the, like, especially short range flights are like the most harmful thing you can do to the environment. Sometimes I still have to do it for my job, but I would much rather just have a car, get in, put in a destination, have hopefully some, you know, flat spots to lay in. Tesla Model 3 will have like kind of a nice flat bed to camp in. But yeah, so that's my vision, and I'm sure that Tesla will be able to accomplish that. But until it is true that you can sleep in your car and it's all perfect, let's look at some of the limitations and actually more closely talk about the differences of the old system, which was provided by Mobileye, and then, you know, they kind of split Tesla and Mobileye, and now it's a Tesla internal development. And they did have to basically develop it up from, I don't want to say scratch, but, you know, internally kind of form their whole team and develop a system that is really advanced. And they've basically done it in a year, what other companies have been trying for a long time. I know some of them are really far too, like Mercedes-Benz. They have some really good systems that just haven't found their way, or the most advanced ones just haven't found their way in the models that you can buy yet. But let me just move over. Autopilot will do the move. Awesome. Yes. Speed. Okay. But yes. So the old system was, or at the current state, I'm filming this on September 14th, 2017, on firmware version 8.1. The 2017.34.244 CFC, if you wanna know it perfectly. All right. Well, German autobahns in the mornings are just crazy. I mean, I guess I'll just stay in this lane. Yes. So this version currently is not quite as good as the old system. Not quite. What does that mean? Firstly, it is not quite as reliable. On the Autobahn, it's doing so far a great job, and I'm more than convinced that this job it's doing right now, it will continue on doing for hours and hours. So I'm not too concerned about the general state of the system at all. But I have noticed some differences once it comes to, you know, kind of the rural roads I've been on, where the old system it performed better. I mean, there's no way around it, it just performed better, even though it only has the one camera. But then again, Tesla had to develop this new, and the possibilities that are available with this system are just way better than the old system because it has better hardware. But yes, what else? I mean, it took quite a while to get the automatic wipers. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I want to say they are automatic yet already. Not sure though. Yeah, no, yeah. Pretty sure they're automatic, but they also, like, for them, they haven't been doing a completely perfect job at wiping. Don't move over. Alright. So there are still some deficiencies when it comes to the automatic systems, and for Autopilot, for example, it's quite interesting. So this system right here, the old one in the dash, it would obviously mark the lanes if it can to the left and to the right of you, which this one will also do. But the old one was really good at mapping out cars to the left and to the right of you, and the lanes to the left and to the right of you. And this one is not really as good with mapping those cars currently, again, right? So there are, I mean, it won't move over if you put if you set it for auto lane change. It won't move over and, you know, hit another car. It will sense it, but it's, I don't know, you know, the sense of comfort or more, you know, what's the right word I'm looking for here? I'm gonna say kind of the security, right? It gives you. It just shows you everything, and you're like, all right, this car really knows what's up. Same also for this setting right now. I'm in a construction zone. There are yellow lane markings, which are not really a problem at all for the old system, and but right now it's not really picking the second lane up. Now it's starting to pick it up. Now it's not. So it's, it still has some improving to do. Is it unusable? No, not at all. It's definitely usable, and especially if you're in an environment where it's suited for, where Tesla actually currently intends you to use it, and that's highway driving or Autobahn in Germany, or even rural roads with clear lane markings and, not like serpentines or hairpin turns. This system is a great deal of stress relief, and also same is true for, stop and go driving. So I do still love the system. Second difference, or another difference, is that in stop and go traffic, or even in just traffic jams, which is basically stop and go traffic, it's not. I mean, it will not hit the car, and it will work. It will like come to a complete stop and then start driving again. It's kind of like it doesn't go, like, it doesn't quite drive as you would drive. The old one kind of did. It would pull up to the car to a reasonable distance. This one will leave a huge distance. Not huge, but more than you would usually leave. And the old system, towards the end, it would actually, since it would only follow the car in front of you, it would start if the car in front of you was making like a secure. Oh, in Germany it's called rescue lane. We have to. So the leftmost lane has to move all the way left, and the lane to the right of the left lane. So if it's 3 lanes, it's the middle lane. If it's only 2 lanes, it's the right lane, obviously. Those guys have to move all the way to the right, and then that's the path where emergency vehicles pass, and it's really important. The old system would actually kind of go to the side and follow the other guy, and make this security or rescue kind of pathway for emergency vehicles, which was really nice. This system doesn't do that yet. It doesn't even pull up that far. And I feel like I've seen it, I've monitored it. Will it follow the car in front of you? So will the car in front of you turn blue if there are bad lane markings or something? And yes, it will. But it actually does that quite late, and not as frequently as the old system used to do. So that's actually a positive for city driving, which you're not supposed to do with the system anyway. Because in city driving, if the car in front of you is taking a left turn, this car, or not this car, but a Tesla with the old system would kind of tend to turn its wheel a lot and try to follow that guy until it maybe saw the lane lights, and it was like, all right, nope, I'm staying in this lane, because it would put a huge emphasis on following the guy in front of you. So yeah, there are downsides and upsides to this new system already. I want to say kind of it's not as good as the old system yet. My dad confirmed that. He has the new system in the 90D. So yes, it's not as good yet. But I'm more than happy with the decision Tesla made, because the possibilities you have with the systems are amazing, and with the 8 cameras. Let's talk shortly about why I think the 8 camera system is so amazing. Now recently I've taking up the Udacity self-driving car engineering course, which I've just loved so far. I'm through my first term. Let this guy pass. I'm through my first term so far, and I've learned so much about self-driving cars, about the technology, the algorithms, the programming that goes into it, and it was a lot of fun to program some of this stuff. Now Tesla, or Elon Musk, if I can recite him correctly, he said, all right, if you look at the road system, or our infrastructure system designed for vehicles, so cars or trucks currently, what was it designed for? It was designed with a human driver in mind that didn't have any additional helping systems. So the human driver would only rely on pure eyesight, and obviously the ability to turn his head, but still it's only pure eyesight that the human would have to generate 3 inputs, and that's true for every car. 3 inputs are steering angle, number 1, throttle position of the gas pedal, number 2, I don't want to really call it gas pedal in an electric car, but you know, it's what it is. And the pedal input, or the pedal position of the brake pedal, which would be the input number 3. So there you go. It's only 3 inputs that are required to drive your car. That's true for any car, even for a manual, even though you'd have to shift, but it doesn't really, like, the main thing is still acceleration, deceleration, and steering angle. So once you have these 3, you're able to drive your car. And there are a bunch of different ways you can go about generating those 3 inputs. You know, camera systems, monitoring the road lanes, the lane markings. This is what this system also does. And there's also different ways to do that. You could use a convolutional neural net to do that. I've done that. It's really cool. You generate a self-driving car, so it'll kind of figure this stuff out by itself. You could use just some mathematical algorithms, and you can use some color filtering that will filter out everything that's not white or yellow for the lane markings, and will then, you know, project the lanes on it, and you'll calculate your position because the camera is mounted in the center with regards to the lanes, and you would be centered. And I mean, there's so many different ways you could go about this. Let me pass this truck. So it's really a matter of deciding what you want to do, but that's what I've currently talked about, it all camera based. Now, cameras will always play a role in any system, and you just have to basically figure out to what extent, because this car also has a radar system, and radar will help you navigate. Some companies are heavily relying on LiDAR systems, the laser-based systems, which could be deflected by rain or, you know, other things that radar is able to pass through. So once again, downsides and upsides, but their resolution is much, their ability to track depth and stuff and have a holistic image or surround view is a little better. So there's, you know, because radar has basically like a viewing angle, there's, again, ups and downs for it. But with camera images, technically, you should be able to do everything and figure out everything that a car needs to do just from camera inputs. Now, you just have to make sure you have enough cameras, and Tesla, in my opinion, has done that. 8 cameras is plenty to figure everything out. So I like it. And what is an advantage with cameras? Well, a huge advantage is that if there's anything new that's on the road, it's just a software update. Those cameras are pretty high resolution. I want to say those are full HD cameras. I'm not quite sure, but pretty sure they are. And full HD, for those algorithms we're using, you're actually downscaling your picture usually. You're actually kind of blurring it because 1080p is just way too much input data to process in a time for real-time driving. So 1080p should be more than enough for the next years to come to have a high enough resolution of the outside world, and everything else is just software. It's literally just software that you're using. And if there's, let's say, a new traffic sign, let's say for whatever odd reason people would start to put sensors in traffic signs that would transmit the signal to the cars, and therefore a car approaching a stop sign would record the signal from the stop sign and would therefore know, okay, I have to stop here. Right? You could do that. That could be an approach in the future that could be used to have cars be more reliable with traffic signs, right? But let's say there's a new traffic sign, and for whatever reason you decided to kind of hard code the signals into the receiver, and there's a new traffic sign, and you basically screwed up because now since it's hard coded, you can't put the new frequency on your receiver or whatever. You know, there's just some limitations with hardware. If there's a new sensor, you'd have to upgrade, and it would kind of, you know, just be a hassle. Now with cameras, once again, only software. You can update it. Tesla is doing over-the-air updates. It's as simple as a, you know, install click. And this is what I think is so amazing about this technology that Elon Musk has decided to go forward with, and that I completely understand why he chose that path. Now, I'm not saying that other systems aren't really good and might be even a little bit maybe better currently. not really sure yet. I'd have to wait for my next semester with Udacity, but maybe they are. But I feel like if we get the image recognition down just right, we'll be able to utilize cameras in a more efficient and better way than we could use our sensors. I'm not saying we should get rid of our sensors. I'm saying we could technically only use cameras, but still, a radar sensor is really useful just as a secondary backup system to make sure, all right, we're not crashing into anything. Same with the sonar sensors, especially when you're parking. Yes, you could use the cameras that are mounted all around, but honestly, if you know the exact distance calculated by sonar, why would you rely on the cameras? I mean, there's no reason. So I feel like those two systems that are integrated next to the cameras, the sonar and the radar, are really useful. Yeah, so this is just my thoughts on the whole system. Conclusion, not as good as the old system yet, but I'm still happy with it. It's still really useful, and it's getting there. Through the recent improvements that have been pushed over the air updates, I mean, there are already a lot of videos out there online in YouTube, for example, on YouTube, of people showcasing the new software and kind of the differences it made driving the same stretch of road with different versions. So yes, it is improving, and I'm more than positive that Tesla is more than capable of delivering on their promises, even though, you know, the full autonomy might still be, I hope, only like 2 years away. Elon said that later this year, I think it was later this year, that have a cross-country fully autonomous drive. I think he could pull it off, but we'll see. In any case, self-driving will be a major game changer over the next years and over the next even month, really, to come. And electric cars, yes, they'll be important too, but we'll have self-driving before, because we do have some traditional car makers, don't want to point any names, but that are not really fully jumping onto that train of electric cars yet, even though a lot are, and a lot of countries in Europe actually starting to ban the sale of non-electric cars by, I think France is doing 2040, Austria or Switzerland was debating of putting it at 2030, we have some other countries that have been doing 2025, I think Norway. So there's some pressure in the general industry, and I feel like, you know, car manufacturers should adapt. But we'll have the autonomy before the full electricity of all cars before, because you can put an autonomous system in a non-electric car. Even though I feel like if you have such an advanced electrical system, because it's using all electronics, you should have an electrical car. I don't know. I feel like, for me, self-driving goes along with electric cars, because a lot of car manufacturers put it in their newest cars, and those are usually some electric show cars or something they have. But then again, I've been experiencing my first like really good self-driving capabilities with the Tesla, and the Tesla is just, you know, electric. So I don't know, association in my mind. Anyway, I've been rambling around for quite some time already. Still recording, that's good. Let's look at what else we can talk about. Oh yes, the car itself. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. So let's talk about this car. It is the top of the line. I think it's the most expensive car Tesla currently has to offer. I think the only thing it doesn't have is like the trailer hitch, because yes, on the Model X, you can put a trailer. And there's a cool guy on YouTube, I want to say, I can't spell his or pronounce his name. He's a cool guy. He's always pulling like a trailer with his Model X and doing some live streams and stuff of that, of his long drives up in, I think it's Norway. So I've been following him on his YouTube channel. Anyway, I don't think it has that, and that would add some extra cost. But apart from that, I think you can go more crazy on this car than this is currently equipped with. So what does it have? It obviously is the Model X P100D, so it's performance, it has the biggest battery, all of that. It comes only in that option, so it's not really any extra cost on that, but it just comes with that option. It has the 7-seat configuration. All seats can be heated all 7 of them. You can see it here. It has a heated steering wheel, heated windshield wipers. It comes standard with the air suspension. It has the carbon trim on here. Just black leather seats. The Autopilot, obviously, all things that you can get with Tesla currently, as far as I know, except for the trailer hitch, are in this car. What do I like about this car? I mean, this car is way different from the Model S. Even though it feels really familiar driving it, it's still different from the Model S in a lot of ways. First of all, it's a SUV, so your seat position is higher, and I like that. Obviously, a lot of SUVs opt for that feature, but yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, I like it. Headroom, way better. I've already talked about this because of that huge windshield. That windshield, how cool is that? I mean, that is amazing. That is so cool. So that's another big point that's super cool. The windshield itself, right? Cool, just amazing, just really cool. Then the space you have inside the car is a little bit bigger. I want to say this is a little wider than the Model S. It clocks in at, I think that's with mirrors, it clocks in at 2 meters, 27 centimeters and some millimeters. So that's 2.27 meters. That's really, really, really wide, especially for German roads. It's still not unmanageable. It's just not the perfect city car, but it has self-park, so that's good. So yes, that's definitely a big difference with this car. What else is a big difference? It's range. Even though it has the biggest battery, it will not go... It's the fastest car, it has the biggest battery, but it's not the longest range because it's a performance, and that's because it has just an engine that's stronger and that takes up more of your battery. Simple as that. Same with gasoline engines usually. Yeah, so that's part of the reason. Now, why is it less efficient than a Model S in general? So if you have the same exact car, Model S, P100D, and Model X, P100D, why is the Model S better in range and also acceleration? Weight, biggie, and also the drag. This one just has, a bigger surface area where wind can hit you, even though it has a really low CV value. I want to say, I don't know, 0.23 maybe. I don't know. It's really low, but still it's taller, so it will have more drag. So that puts the range down a little bit. And yes, so I've been with this car. I mean, it's a great car. It still has a lot of range, more than the 70D I've been driving. But I've been pulling so far. I mean, I've been, to be fair, I've put it in like insane mode. I think it's still in insane mode to have some cool acceleration to show it off. And I've been kind of gunning it more than I would maybe usually do. But I've been pulling some high 20. So 20. I'm currently at 26 or 267 watt-hours per kilometer, or 26 kilowatt-hours per 100 kilometers. And that's more than I've been usually experiencing in the Model S, unless I've been really, I don't know, really cold weather and stuff like that. One difference though is in the Model S, I think so far I've always put the kind of range mode, I think it's called, on. In this car, I've turned it off. What range mode is, it basically limits your AC and heating it kind of limits it to conserve battery power. And with this car, I've just, I don't know, I had some different other people in the car, and there was no reason on this stretch of road to not turn it off, to have like the perfect climate there is possible. Didn't put on bioweapons defense mode, but you actually, I don't know, don't want to try it now, but yeah. So that is a small difference that might attribute for some of the higher consumption, but it's still it is higher than Model S or even the Model X just 100D that's out there, because it's the performance. So that's also a bigger difference between the other cars, between the Model S and Model X. But would I take it as, like, if I would have the ability to buy either a Model S or X, and any Model S or X, would I buy it over the Model S? And then would I buy the Model X P100D over the 100D? That'll be a hard decision. Now, I've obviously put in the reservation for the Model 3, and I hope that will come as soon as possible. I'm pretty sure it will come like second half of 2018 here in Germany. So still a little bit of wait, but who cares? It will be a great car, more than positive. But this car, I mean, I love it so much. It just, I don't know, it just gave me a really good feel when it was in here, and a big grin, obviously, from that insane acceleration that you get. But on the same side, I'm always kind of I'm a big numbers guy, so I love having the best range out there that's possible. I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure. Now, it kind of depends on my job and what I would use it for, and what my plans would be and what my usual routes would be. Let's say I would be living in Hamburg, and my only real destination ever, except for maybe vacation, would be Berlin, or other way around. I would be living in Berlin, and my real ever point where I'd be working would be in like Hamburg. I would, I think, go for the Model X P100D, like this car, because I don't know, it would be a lot of fun, and it's more than enough to cover the distance, and I just love it. Let's say I would have to go a little bit further, a lot of the times, maybe Frankfurt, I'd probably still go for the Model X, just 100D instead of the P, to have more range. But let's say I would have to go down to Munich or Stuttgart a lot, then I'd probably go for the Model S 100D, because that one just has the best range out of all of Tesla's cars that are currently available. And even them that will become available, so the Model 3 that comes out in 2 options with the higher range, even that one, or what means even? I mean, that's a cheaper car, so the Model S has a point of being more expensive for a good reason. But so the Model S 100D is just the best one, or the longest range one that's currently out there. So if you want to go for range, that's your best bet. So I'd probably pick that one in the case of me having to go a lot of really long distance. Yeah, but I just love this SUV. I mean, it is, or crossover, whatever you want to call it. It is just amazing. Been enjoying it a lot. Now I think that's a lot of things I've talked about. I should probably just do 2 YouTube videos, like a short one and a long one, and just put a little bit of so if you want to hear the long version, just go over to the other video, because I've been doing a long, really long, crazy talk about a lot of things. I think I might do that, and just upload this whole thing I've been talking about. You know me, I don't really like editing it out too much. So yes, I'll definitely talk to you guys again when I'm at the supercharger, but so far it's been a really nice drive. I've been in the car for 2 hours now, covered 160 kilometers, a lot of rural roads in the first 100 kilometers or so, and or 60 or 80 kilometers or so. I'll be in like at the supercharger, and I will definitely show you guys supercharging again, because oh yeah, that's obviously a difference too. But I guess we'll talk about it at supercharger. But since the battery power increased, even though in the lows, like in the 70, there's only a 75 model now with Tesla. So since the battery power increased, it can draw a lot more from the Tesla supercharger if available. And we've been talking about last year a lot about the kind of charging curve, and so it kind of goes slower towards the end. And with the 100 kilowatt hour battery, oh my, this thing, even like I was still at, I don't know, I want to say 60% or so last time I've pulled over to the supercharger, and it was charging like 100 and something, 50 or something kilometers at, being at 60 and charging up. You can't charge down. Charging up, well, you can discharge. Anyway, charging up, and in like 10-15 minutes we've covered like 150 kilometers, which is great, and I'm expecting I'll get even better charge rates this time, given that I'll be there with I think 35% of battery power. It won't be the fastest probably. I think 20% is about the fastest you can get with charging, but 35 would be I think will be plenty fast, and we'll see it. I'll probably do a time lapse of that, and I will have I'll just probably do a little live cast on Facebook to a couple of friends. I don't know if anyone is up. Well, people should be up. It's like 7:50 or something. But yeah, so I'll do talk about that. But that's actually more important than I would have thought it would be. Or, well, I don't know. The thing is, I don't really mind charging. Like, it's not that I mean, yes, sometimes it puts you in a little inconvenience and it will take you longer to reach your destination, but honestly, I've enjoyed it. I could eat some food, I could work on some stuff. You'd be forced to, do something during that time. So I didn't really mind it, and, if the GPS will tell you where to charge for how long, it usually works out really nicely, and I think I've demonstrated it in my other videos. So that's not really a biggie. That's not really a big issue. But now that I've kind of experienced charging up so much more kilometer range in so much less time, I've kind of been like, all right, this is great. All right, okay, we're in an unlimited zone, so oh my, this is 160, 170, 180, 190. 200, 220, 230, 235, 236. All right, I'll leave it at that. That's plenty fast, and the acceleration at that speed was still really good, even with the back electromagnetic force. Again, if you want to learn more about that, check out Engineering Explained. He has a really good video on that. And this is, it's fast. I think I will just drive a little faster for the rest of the trip. It's only like 7 kilometers since until I have to get off the Autobahn. So let's have some fun here and show off what this car can do. Oh my, this is 200 kilometers an hour right now. It's not like it's not loud, or at least not as loud as gasoline cars would be. It has a perfect stable ride. I don't feel uncomfortable at all going 200 kilometers an hour right now. It's stable. It doesn't rattle. There's no rattling I can pick up. Manufacturing wise, by the way, this car is great. I think they've done a great job. So yeah, I mean, putting it at high speeds obviously will drain the battery really fast, but or really fast. I don't want to discredit Tesla. It is really fast. Let's be honest. I mean, it is really fast. It's not super fast. You can still obviously drive for some time, but it will drain it faster than usual. Funny thing is, still like no engine noise, but the wind noises, and it always kind of gets me. But yeah, this thing, Autobahn, is empty as could be right now. All right, there's a car moving in front of me. 3 kilometers, I can overtake him and then get off. I mean, this car, if you really want to, put it at 220, and it will happily sit there and just drive. Probably not for that, like not for 500 kilometers, but yeah, it will drive, and it will do a good job driving at that high speed. So let's get over here. I guess I'll just leave the video on this. Oh, there's a bus with a lot of travelers just stranded. trucks. All right, down here. Another fun fact, I read an article about a Tesla that reached 300,000 miles, and the total cost of repairs and stuff was only $10,000 for 300,000 miles. I mean, how cool is that? You know, just another kind of fun thing. So that's why electric cars are great. There's not much that can go wrong with them, apart from maybe software, but you know, you can fix that remotely. Alright guys, I'm back after I recharged the car and the GoPro, which was running low on battery. So my final recharge was 200 kilometers after perfectly 20 minutes. So that 200 kilometers in 20 minutes, it's true. I tried it out myself. And now I was just doing some ludicrous launches. Oh my, it was insane. It was freaking-sane. It was insane. I don't know what else to say. It's just great. It's just great. It puts a smile on everyone's face. I just said I would stop the video to make another video that wouldn't be talking about how much I love the launch. So let's get back to what I was going to talk about. Here, real quick, one thing I didn't mention earlier, which is kind of a bummer and which is a little bit annoying. As you might, oh, there's a car behind me. Let me get out of his way real quick. All right. German Autobahn, I love you. All right, so the traffic sign recognition. Maybe, I don't know if I did it last time, but when I'm driving, I usually, and I have this turned off now, but I usually do a it will do a audio signal whenever I speed, because sometimes, you know, I'm on autopilot and I'm approaching like a, I don't know, construction zone on the Autobahn, and it will on the Autobahn it won't automatically slow you down. On rural roads, for example, it will slow you down automatically if you have autopilot on these roads here on the Autobahn it won't. So I usually, you know, have the warning on, but that obviously relies on your camera being able to detect the traffic signs. And we talked about how the system is different and it's not quite as good. For example, now it didn't like pick up the next lane, so it kind of, we talked about it. But the one thing that I find quite annoying is that the traffic sign recognition is not nearly as good as the other one yet. I've had multiple, like a lot of instances where it didn't pick it up. So it usually picks it up if you're driving and the traffic sign is on the right side, like kind of your car. Only then. And in Germany we have those overhead signs for speed limits sometimes. So that one, those currently are not getting picked up. Yeah, there are just some signs, or a lot of signs that are not getting picked up, and it's kind of I don't want to say sad or anything. I mean, it's not that it's super bad. You can still just manually kind of set your speed again, and you're on your way. But it's a little bit inconvenient, I'd say. And I feel like they should get that down really quick. I feel like it should be a quick fix. I mean, I've trained traffic sign recognition algorithms myself, trained convolutional neural nets on it, and okay, mine weren't perfect. By all means, they weren't perfect, but like the process of doing it, if you have the right amount of training data and such things, it's actually possible. It's quite possible to do it. See, there was a 120 sign, for example. The old car, the old system, and also older car, but the old system, it wouldn't have any problems recognizing it. And yeah, this system, it does. So it's kind of a little bit. It's not a big deal. It's a little bit of annoying, but it's fine. So yes, I'm headed back. It's beautiful weather. I'm gonna actually stop by my office real quick, throw some stuff in, see if someone is in the office yet and wants to take a look at the car before I turn it back in. So I'll be doing that for the next couple of minutes. It says like 33 minutes ahead. I'll be arriving. That's not my office yet. That's just where I have to bring the car. But I will put it in my office, I think. We'll just head there. It's not far away. And then bring it back. So yes, this has been mind freaking blowing driving this car around. As I said, a lot of fun, a lot of great fun in this car. Again, if any one of you like are looking into buying this car, buying another Tesla and undecided, or if you live in Germany and you happen to not know anybody yet who owns a Tesla who gives you that referral, so if you're a Tesla owner, you can give other people's referrals, and so I could send you a link. You have to reach out to me. I could send you a link, and you'd get 1,000 euros off your price and the unlimited supercharging for your lifetime of the vehicle, either Model S or Model X. So yeah, just if you're truly interested, just let me know. Otherwise, if you no, not otherwise, but if you're also really interested, go and talk to your Tesla reps. I've done that while I was in the US. They're really nice guys. I've done it here in Hamburg, in Germany, around different cities. They're friendly, they're nice. Talk to them, see if you can take a test drive. Usually they'll be happy to have you test drive it if you're interested. Experience this acceleration. And I want to say that this is just judging by the numbers. I haven't been in, let's say, I don't know, the new McLaren, or I don't know, what else we got, like a Lamborghini, or the Pagani, whatever, Zonda, or other hypercars, really fast cars. I haven't been in them, so I can't really judge how freaking fast this just was, but by the numbers that, yeah, just playing it by numbers, this car is faster than all of them. Or, yeah, is it faster than? Pretty sure it's faster than all of them. The Model S definitely is, and this one I feel like is too than the ones I just named. Anyway, so I'm really biased of comparing it now, but I've never experienced anything quite like it. There's just nothing in this world so far. I wanna ask Elon Musk. I don't know his perfect acceleration of his Falcon 9 rocket. I want to kind of look up how much max G's you get of that, and want to compare it to the Model S or X. Really, see how that compares to a freaking rocket launch. But yes, it was amazing. So I think that's it for this one, guys. Like I said, I'll post like 2 videos. It will be. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed what you just watched. Obviously, at the time you'll see this, obviously I'll have already uploaded it. So, hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure doing this. I still like the grin on my face. You see this? You see this? It is. Whenever I sit in a Tesla, I get this grin because they just do it right. And the people that were in the car with me yesterday, they agreed, and we talked about it obviously a lot. And they just really liked it too. They felt it was firstly really innovative, but the kinds of technology and how they're combined, Tesla just does it right. Anyway, yes, so it puts a grin on my face every time, but this one, like, you can't help but scream. It is that. Oh, I still have my stopwatch on. It is that insane. It is just that insane. Yes, I hope I will get a chance to at some point test drive or maybe own the Model S P100D and take a look at that acceleration, because that, as I pointed out earlier, should be crazier than this by about, I want to say, 0.4 seconds. And given that we're in the sub 3 second region here, or sub 3s, yeah. 0.4 seconds is a lot. Like, sub 3 seconds, half a second would be 1/6 of your total acceleration time. Why is it doing that? Why is it slowing down? There's nothing in front of me. Okay, maybe this guy was moving over. Yeah, so 0.4 is close to little bit less, but close to 1/6 of the time it takes you to get from 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. So shaving that off should feel more crazier than it sounds like on numbers. But yeah, 1/6. I mean, come on, guys. That's I want to say more than 10%, but I know that. Divided by 6. Dang it, Alex, get your number straight. Yeah, 16%. A little bit less than that. But it should be truly amazing. Just a quick, I'll put this somewhere in the video. I kind of forgot to mention it. The sound system, amazing in here. I'm pretty sure it has the upgraded sound system. Yeah, most likely it does. Anyway, the sound system is way better than the other one that wasn't the upgraded sound system in the Tesla Model S that I was testing last time I did all the videos. So this sound system will come with the Model S or X, I'm pretty sure. You can upgrade in both cars, but it sounds amazing. So that's really, yeah, it's just a great sound system, and I love listening to music. Who doesn't? So yeah, just wanted to throw this in there somewhere. I'll just edit it in somewhere, and you guys know that it also has a great sound system. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. I'll finally, I guess, turn up the video feed now, and yeah, catch you guys another time.